everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we have such a fun video. I am going to be filming a 24-hour readathon. I've never done one of these on this channel before. I feel like I've attempted them before but they just never made it because I never made it. But today we are locking in. There are so many books I want to get to on my physical TBR and I just want to do it. I've got no plans, no commitments, so now is the time. It's currently just before 5 o'clock and I feel like that's a good time to start so that when it finishes tomorrow, because I'm going to be doing 24 hours straight, when it finishes tomorrow I'll have time for like a nap or just some time to recuperate before trying to get my sleeping schedule back on track. I have a TBR for this month, but kind of the only two that are left for me to get to are The Bone Season and Iron Flame, which are huge fantasy books that I just think if I read them in this challenge I would not be able to complete or I'd burn out. So I'm going to leave them and I've created a kind of mini rough guide because I don't want to say it's TBR as I might change my mind or not get to any of them. I don't know, I'm just going to go off vibes and what I want to read in the moment because that is what will help me succeed. I'll tell you the vibes for each one. This is like cold wintry romance. Simple Wild. I had great things about this one. I don't think I've actually seen anybody dislike this book. I have another one. I think this is similar vibes. I absolutely adore Mariana Zapata and so I've been wanting to get to this one. I feel like I could, even though this is a longer romance, I do enjoy a longer romance. I feel like it builds more of a connection and I'm more rooting for the characters. I have Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I've heard great things about this one and I've heard even better things about the second one that comes after this. I want to get to this to get to the second one, but I don't know. The last one to me just seems like a fun, silly read, and that is The Worst Best Man. This has been on my TBR since I started getting back into reading. I don't know anything much about those romances, but that is how I like to go into books. I like to not know too much about what's going on. So I will obviously give you rundowns once I start them, but for now I do not know. I have 3 fantasy books I may want to get to. One is Throne of the Fallen. This one has just been in my mind so much since it came out because I absolutely loved the first trilogy. I have Dawn of Onyx, which I bought mainly because I was seeing it everywhere. I know absolutely nothing about this and I don't think I want to know, but this is a shorter one. Like I feel like this is only like 400 pages, yeah, so this would be so quick to get through. Lastly I have one which I honestly bought just for the end pages, are they called? Like that looks incredible and it is called Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen, and this, it says 1 human woman, 4 fae princes, a villain from below. This is also on the shorter side as you can see, so this is one that could definitely keep me enticed. I thought if I do get too tired a thriller will always pick me up again, so I just picked up 2. This one is called The Other Mother. The suburban thrillers are right up my street. If I'm ever in a book slump I always gravitate towards YA thrillers just because they're so quick to go through, the plots are so simple to understand, so I just picked up one of them, which is Girls Who Burn. This could be a really good like palate cleanser or if I'm getting really sleepy. This is our little stack of books and we are obviously not going to get through all of them. I'd say I'd maybe get through 5, I think, I'm not too sure, but they are kind of the ones that have been shortlisted I guess. But I could completely differ from that, I do not know. My dad very kindly got me a Dunkin' Donuts earlier, so I will be starting off with that. I love Dunkin' coffee. So good. That's an iced caramel oat latte. So yummy. I'm gonna go and start my first book now. I don't know what I'm in the mood for right now, but we're just gonna see. So I will check in with you very soon. Page 110, chapter 7, and I'm loving it. I forgot how much I love a small town romance. She wants to restart her life in this little small mountain town that grew up there when she was little with her mum, who has unfortunately passed away, and she wants to do some of the hikes that her mum used to do while she's there. She didn't want to commit to settle there for a long time yet, so she rented this studio apartment for a month, but turns out there's a grumpy dad and his son put the apartment up for rent without telling the dad, but luckily the dad let her stay. I am just loving it. I love the vibe. It's like a cold, wintry small town, grumpy sunshine, which I love, because also he's not grumpy where it's just rude, he's actually just a grump. Like, also you will have seen I went on Pinterest and looked up some of the boards for this book, which honestly just completes the vibe. I think I'm reading it a lot slower than I usually do because it's like 6:30 now, so I read 110 pages in an hour and a half, which is slower than my normal, but I honestly don't mind that. Her writing is just so easy to read, like it's so mindless. Really enjoying this. I'm definitely glad that I picked this up first. I'm now on page 277, so I'm like just over halfway and I'm still loving it. It took the grump 200 pages to crack a smile, but when he did, so good. I feel like I just love a slow burn romance and she is the best of them, so I love him. The main girl, she isn't annoying me, which is great, and their relationship at the moment, which we're still not anywhere. Do not go into this thinking it is going to be quick pace, because it is not at all, but he is so gentle with her, and the nickname he has for her is the cutest thing in the whole world, and I just love it. Like, I'm actually not speed reading, but I'm like every crumb, every detail of their interactions, I'm eating it all up. I'm still really glad that I chose this as my first read, because I also think I enjoy the pacing of slow burns, but I'm not sure me at 3 AM would enjoy this pacing. There is a part of this that I've read a couple like singer-songwriter romances. That's not what this is, but there are details of kind of songwriting, singing, that kind of thing. I'm not sure I like it. Like, it's a bit cringe reading lyrics on a page, I feel like. It's just like, oh, I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing and that's really mean, but also like they were fangirling over one of the characters and I was like, ugh. But nevertheless, that is not the important part of the story. There was also such a sweet moment that has just been revealed about his son and the situation with the son's mum, which I thought was really, really cute. I think I have like, I think it's like 540 pages, so do some maths. 200. I have like just under 300 pages left, which sounds like a lot, but I feel like if I lock in, I could get it done. Did I pause my music? I will check in with you in a little while. Okay, it is now 10:30 and I won't lie to you, I skim read the last maybe 100 pages because the third act conflict, oh, it was going so well. The third act conflict has put me off everything, not because of her. I really like the girl in this, the main woman, but the reason so it's like the dad and the son, the reason they got mad at her was so silly. Like, it was none of their business. It doesn't change anything that had happened in all this time. It doesn't change anything going forward. I was just like, what the hell? And then they like call her back and they're like, we're so sorry. I'm like, I don't care now, because you should have thought about that. So I just skim read it and then they're like, oh, let's all be friends. So this was honestly like a solid 4 stars, and now I'm hesitant to even give it a 3 because I'm like, you've just pissed me off in the last 100 pages. I don't know what I'm going to rate that. Maybe I will have decided by the time I edit this, but I have finished with this book. It took me ages and I'm actually quite annoyed. Like, I was rooting for these characters and now I just don't care. Cringing a little bit at the songwriting parts, but I decided to overlook them. I decided to be the bigger person, but this is just not for me. Sorry. I'm sorry. I think the only problem at this point is that it's like doing the same thing for the whole time. Like, I'm reading the whole time. Usually I maybe would have watched a share or like gone downstairs or like done some editing, I don't know, that kind of thing. I want to go for one of these two. I just don't know which one would be more entertaining. I don't know anything about this one, and I also don't really know anything about this one either. There's 4 handsome fae princes, 1 awkward bookworm. Lol. The princes must take on the form of demonic wolves every night. What? Oh, a spicy Beauty and the Beast retelling filled with enchanted fae, morally grey characters and a sinfully hot villain, and a princess who has found her Prince Charming. All 4 of them. All 4 of them. Sorry. Maybe I need to read this just for pure entertainment, but then maybe this will be a good one for tomorrow if I'm really brain dead. Let me see this one. Dawn of Onyx. Oh, she's been taken prisoner and she has to use her rare magical abilities to heal the soldiers of the king. I actually feel like I want to read this one right now because I'm going to save that one until I'm a bit tired. Well, I am a bit tired now, but like super tired. I'm going to start with this one. Apparently I get exclusive bonus material. Thank you. I'm going to pop the spine if I do say so myself. Ready? Perfect. It's 11:30 now and I've only read 44 pages. What's happened in this so far is very, very entertaining. Her brother was at this war, but he'd been missing for 2 years, so they were discussing, saying it might be time to consider he's, you know, gone. And then he walks in the door, and this all happens within the first 2 chapters, so I don't think it's spoiling that. He walks in the door and they're like, what the hell? It turns out he's on the run, but he's stole money from the king. So then they pack up to go really quickly, and she goes back because they forgot her mum's medicine, so she runs back. And then in the house are the soldiers that were running after the brother, but she offers to help them out with her powers in order to save her life. And now they're on the way back to the kingdom. They're on a dragon at the moment, but that's what's happened so far. So it's very interesting. Like, I'm hooked, but I just have slowed down mentally. I just woke up from a nap that I didn't know I was gonna have. I'm on page 102, which really is not great, but I'm just gonna keep it going with this. A couple of things. I don't like the nickname that's going on. I don't know whether it's because in England, I think she's American, yeah. In England, that's quite a derogatory term for a woman, but I'm just not keen on this. No, I'm not keen on it. It's just, it's feeling like a YA. Reading quite young, quite predictable, quite like every other. So I'm going to continue with this though because it's easy to read. I'll give it that. Like, I'm not finding it difficult at all, which I kind of worried that I would because it is a fantasy. But I'm going to continue with this and I will come back when I've got any updates with it. Everything this man says is disgusting. I'm cringing so hard at everything. What did he just say actually? I'm going to read it out without the bits that spoil it. So it's good. Firstly, you may call me insert name. Insert name is a little formal for someone I've made blush as many times as you. Ew. No thank you. He's been gross since the beginning, to be honest. Like when they first met, he was just gross. So gross. So if he's who we're going to stay interested in, no thank you. No. I can't support this. I think it's time for me to have another coffee. They didn't have any dairy alternatives, so taking my milk tablets. Let's see what this tastes like. I hope it's super yummy, because Lord knows I need that. This is so good. Might be a new go-to. I'm now on page 186 and I think I know what's going on. Not I know what's going on, I mean like I have a theory of what's happened here. I might put the next thing I say at the end of the video so that it doesn't spoil it now. To be fair, I have been reading this quite quickly, I'd say. Like I think I've picked up my pace again. I think that nap really helped me. I've kind of just been laying, listening to music, drinking my coffee. Like, it's kind of been really nice. I've been having a great time, to be honest. So I'm just going to carry on with this and then I will update you maybe when I've finished, or if I have anything to say up to here. I can't say I fully like him yet. Like, I mean, do I like him at all? No, he's a bit cringe, and like I know the type of person they were trying to make him, basically Rhysand, but that's just not working for me, so I'm finding him a little bit cringe. I'm curious about this other person that she mentioned in the beginning, like when's he gonna show up, so that will be interesting. I'm trying to give in to the fun of the book. Like, you know, sometimes you read books and you're like, okay, this isn't really great overall, but it was a fun read, so I'm just trying to let go of the cringiness, all that kind of thing. Finished it. That took me so much longer than it should have done, but it is finished. I'm not too sure what I'm going to rate it yet, and I might leave that until the end because I just want to get reading some more. I can do a little review of all the books I've read within the 24 hours at the end of the video, but it definitely got better at the end. He got more normal at the end, so it definitely picked up, so it was more bearable. But yeah, second book is finished, so now let's go and see what we're going to read for the next book. I decided to start The Simple Wild because it had the highest review on Goodreads. That was the only reason, and I'm now just under 100 pages in. She lost her job and found out that her dad is ill in Alaska. She's in Toronto. Lost her job, found out that her dad is ill in Alaska, who she's not seen since her mum left 24 years ago, and then she gets offered to go out there. She's kind of thinking, okay, I might as well, and then when she's got there, she's bumped into this grumpy pilot that is flying her over on this like tiny little plane. That is all that's happened so far. What I'm thinking is my camera battery is dying, I can see it flashing, and I really want to go and have a bath. Like, I know that it's such a weird time to have a bath, but I just really want one. Just want to like refresh. So I think I'm going to leave my camera to charge for a little bit. I'm going to continue reading this so that I'm still doing the challenge, but I'm going to go and have a bath, freshen up, and then we can come back and continue. Doing it so far, it's actually been quite funny. So it reminds me of Megan Quinn's writing a little bit, because I've never read anything from K.A. Tucker before, but I think I'm going to really enjoy this. I also just want to quickly look up some Pinterest boards for this book. I'm literally going to do that right now. But that looks so cool. Somebody's made one that says, "In my head, Jonas hair is brown." Girl, same. So I will be using this one. Hello, thank you. This is the man that everybody seems to have, but I'm not feeling that, so I'm going to ignore that. I'm back. I am at the bath. Read in the bath for a little bit, and then also when I came out I got ready, and then I've just finished The Simple Wild. I don't really know what to say about this. I feel like it just didn't click with me. I wasn't keen on the main girl, and I feel like they were trying to make her a bit like, what's her name in Schitt's Creek? They were trying to make her like her, but just didn't really sit right with me. The guy was just undesirable start to finish. Like the stuff he did was so unattractive to me, and then kind of when they did start getting together, it was quite abrupt. I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere, which I guess was kind of the point, but then at the same time, ew. Like personally I wouldn't be having that, but I don't know, I didn't really care for any part of it. I didn't really understand either what was going on between her parents. I just don't think it was for me, to be honest. Like that sounds really harsh, but I can't really think of a single thing I enjoyed about this book. I liked that it was set in Alaska, but then I've read The Great Alone by Kristen Hannah, and that was so much better than this. Not that that was a romance really, but like still so much better. But anyway, this was not for me. We're gonna move on. I think in the time we have left I could probably finish one more book, but I'm getting a bit tired, so I'm gonna get a coffee first. I don't really know what I want to read next, but I was scrolling through TikTok a little bit. I'm sorry. I was coming across loads of books that I already have on my shelves that I want to read. I feel like I'm not going to take out the pile that I made. I just want something that I'm really going to like, because I'm so, like, none of the books I've read in this video I can say I've enjoyed. So I think actually I know what I'm going to go read. Miss Dolly Alderton. She doesn't fail me. I have Everything I Know About Love is like my favourite book ever, I think. And then I did read her Dear Dolly. I wasn't too keen on that one, but I think it was just the age that I was. It wasn't really relevant to me. Material is a book I read in April, and it has stuck with me ever since. I adore that book. So I feel like if I read Ghosts, this should be a good one. I feel like, fingers crossed, I need a book that is more than 3 stars. So I'm gonna hope Dolly pulls through again. I adore her writing. I think she's so funny. Her books are so easy to read. I've had this one on my shelf for ages now, actually. I can tell you, I got this copy in a charity shop. I got it 25th of July 2023. Cozy up with this, and hopefully this one is better than the books we've read so far. 100 pages into Ghosts and I am loving it. I swear, Dolly Alderton, she will do it every time. I don't want to speak too soon, but I knew this was going to be so good. I feel like even if I don't like what happens in it, her writing is just so incredible. I'm sat here smiling whilst reading it, like my face hurts from smiling so much. She's so funny, like I'm actually laughing out loud whilst reading her books, which is insane. But we are following Nina, who, it starts out and it's her 32nd birthday and it's set in London, and she's kind of just talking to her friends. She can see that all of her friends are kind of in relationships except from her one friend Lola, and Lola tells her to get on a dating app, and she does, and she's met a man called Max who just seems incredible, which I am loving so far. But I have this huge anxiety that something is going to happen, because like, why is the book called Ghosts? But I pray nothing happens because I'm rooting for them. Like, I love Nina, I love Max. There's also kind of a subplot about her dad who is struggling with dementia, and it just feels so raw and so real. Like, this is just life. And I was just thinking whilst I was reading it that Dolly makes me feel nostalgic for a life I've not lived, which is a crazy thing to think, but like in all of her books, even her own memoir, is it called a memoir if she's not dead? I think so. In her own memoir, the non-fiction one, I felt like I was sad for a life I hadn't lived, which was absolutely crazy. That's why it is one of my favourite books ever, and I just adore her writing. It's so funny, it is so British to the core, and I feel like it honestly just feels like a hug. Like, it feels like a warm, cozy hug in a book, and I actually don't want it to end. This is the last book I have of hers to discover until she brings out a new one, which I'm hoping she does at some point soon. But I'm just completely soaking this up. Like, I'm so entranced in the story, and I just am loving it. I pray nothing bad happens. I mean, I feel like something could happen with the dad, but I pray nothing bad happens between her and Max. Please, please. I spoke too soon. Everything has came crashing down. I feel like an idiot for everything I said. Literally everything has changed in this book right now. But I'm still liking her writing, to be honest. Oh, my heart, like my eyes have teared up twice now. We have finished Ghosts, which means we have finished with this 24-hour challenge. I'm so glad to be done with this. I need a nap immediately. I'm gonna go and fetch the other books I read in this challenge and we will go over them. Okay, so in this challenge we read 4 books, which not ideal, but that's fine. We've made it through more of my TBR. First one I read was All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. This started out so good. I was so obsessed with it because it's like small town, grumpy dad, perfect, all my favourite tropes. And then it just went downhill because the third act conflict was just so silly in my opinion, and I then just can't look past that. Like, now my opinions on these characters have changed so much. Not so much the woman, the man in this, I'm just like, what are you doing? So, and she wasn't really anything special anyway, so I was kind of like, well, now I don't care for either of you, I'm not interested. So I think I'm going to give this maybe 1.5. I don't know, like, if it feels harsh giving it a 1, but equally I don't care. I'm not going to read it. I disliked it actually, to be honest, so maybe 1.5 just to feel a bit nicer, but it definitely doesn't put me off her books. I think I just didn't like this story. Then I read Dawn of Onyx, and I'll be completely honest with you, the fact that I'm struggling to remember what's happened in this and I've just read it kind of says a lot. So maybe I'll give this 2 stars. I remember wanting to know what happened, but I don't really remember what happened. I didn't like the main guy. Oh, he only became alright in like the second half, which was weird because like surely you're meant to get me on board with him from the get-go, but oh well. I honestly don't have many memories of this. Do I want to read the second one? Like, I definitely wouldn't want to reread this if I don't remember this in order to read the second one. So I really don't know, but I guess it was alright. 2 stars. This is a 1 star, no doubt about it. I didn't like this. I didn't like the girl. I didn't like the boy. I didn't like anything about it. I feel really mean, but like, oh, it was just not even cringe. It was just irritating me. And I was just like, what are you doing? My SD card got full, so I've just sorted that out, but sorry about that. We were talking about this. Yeah, just not for me. Can't really pinpoint anything I enjoyed about this book. I actually didn't enjoy it, so that's a 1 star. This was my favourite book that I read in this video. However, I do think it was only a 3.5 because it's my least favourite one that I've read from her, definitely. I think whilst the story was nice and I enjoyed the characters, and as you saw whilst I was reading it, I was super enjoying it, I just don't think that this story will stay with me. Some of it was a bit weird. I didn't really like how it wrapped up. Like, I feel like it was kind of wrapped up a bit quickly. Like, I still have questions. There was a really random part that happened in the last maybe 30 pages that completely caught me off guard. But I don't know, I would still recommend this book to people. I think that's why it's like a 3.5, and obviously I just love Dolly anyway, but it definitely isn't going to stick with me like her other books have. That is everything I read in this reading challenge. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on any of these books that I've read, and if I didn't like one of your favourite books, then I'm very sorry. Thank you again for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will speak to you very soon. I think what's happened is obviously he's the king and he's keeping her there and she's got these healing abilities. I think she's fae because they're kind of all being funny about that, and like her helper in the apothecary and stuff kind of knows something and everybody's withholding information. So I think she's fae and he's like, I can't tell you why I'm keeping you here, and I think he knows that she's her, that they're like bonded, mated, whatever it's called. And so because he heard her call his name and he's giving all the signs for that to be the case. So if that is the case, I will be so proud of myself. But yeah, I have my theory and I hope that I'm right.